Hello, friends, and welcome to a galaxy far, far away. I'm Dwight. I'm the big bearded nerd. I would like to say a hearty welcome to all of you in chat and to these fine gentlemen that have graced my page with their presence tonight. So we are excited to launch a new game on Big Bearded Nerd, run by Game Master Jay over here. He and I have been talking about this game for a couple of months now, and we're excited to get this launched and up and running. This is one of a few different one-shot monthly adventures that we're going to be running here in Big Bearded Nerd. I'm excited to get this kicked off. It's the second one. We were just talking a moment ago in the chat before the stream got started about Mecha Hack, and that is actually where the first of my games is found. Jeremy and Jay have both played in one of those games. We run a monthly Mecha Hack one-shot called the Mexpendables on the third Saturday of every month, and that'll be coming up here in a couple of weeks. The first Sunday of every month, you can find us here playing Star Wars. Jay will be running this game once a month as we go forward there, and then starting next week, the second Saturday of the second Saturday of the month will be the Obsidian Path, a Call of Cthulhu anthology series that our friend Ricky will be running here on Big Bearded Nerds. So we're excited to kick off this new slate of games tonight with these fine gentlemen, Jay leading us into some Outer Rim shenanigans. So I want to turn it over to these guys for a few minutes to introduce themselves and tell us who you are, where we can find you if you want us to. And then we'll get playing some games. So Jay, if you want to kick us off here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us live or in the future if you're watching this on YouTube. My name is Jay. You can find me on the socials at NeoFet3, and I will move right along over to the players and come back a little bit later with some more information. So let's kind of go a little clockwise or counterclockwise. So Jeremy, tell us who you are, where we can find you.
Well, like he said, my name is Jeremy. Hello, everyone. I have a YouTube channel that I run a lot of live plays and RPG discussion videos and things like that over there. That is the Erasmus Expeditions. You can also find me on Twitter at Erasmus14. And yeah, man, I'm super excited. I love Star Wars. I've been a lifelong fan of Star Wars, and I cannot wait to learn another system. I haven't had the chance to play Fantasy Flight's version, so I'm really excited to try that out. Though stumble, I will, I promise. But I'm genuinely anxious and eager to get into this. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jeremy. And we will all be learning, so that is part of the process. So, but Mike, as you're taking the swig, and I ask you right now, tell us about yourself, who you are, where we can find you, because timing is everything.
It's almost like this guy was a server once in a restaurant. I can guarantee it. So I have a YouTube channel where I have actually run Fantasy Flight games, Star Wars before. I love the system. It's an elegant system from a more bygone age. Insert yada yada yada. The symbological type of dice rolling, I think, is fantastic. So I'm really a fan. I'm also really a fan of how much mostly fan support this system has had, and it's been absolutely wonderful. What you can do with this game, I find it's a lot more unrestrictive than D20 systems or D6 systems or even Fate. Fate's pretty awesome, but definitely a fantastic system. I'm looking forward to it, and yeah. So. You can also check me out on YouTube. I have a channel, I think.
Thank you, Mike. Last but not least, Kurt.
Hey, everybody. I'm Kurt Benetis. I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't have a Twitch channel. I played a few games with Jay in the past, and I play a lot of games. Big fan of Star Wars, and I'm known to retweet like a champ all Twitch channel places. That's pretty much what I do. I don't know. I'm looking forward to playing this, and I'm not going to take any much more time because I want to get playing.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you
Let me
so
just jump in
much.
real quick,
And-
Jay, too. I want to make, before I let you kick things off, just for those watching, we are going to implement tonight something similar. If you've been on Mini Train Domain, you've seen the domain die. We're going to use something similar to that. I don't have a name for it yet, but you can just call them we'll just call them the dice for tonight. For if we get any subscriptions or $5 in bits and cheers, these guys will earn a dice that they can use to re-roll rolls as we play tonight. So if you see these, I'll show you what they look like. If you see one of these above my head, that's what those are, but we don't have any yet, so just throwing that out there. All right, back to you, Jay. Let's play some Star Wars.
Let's play some Star Wars. So, give you an overview of what we're like. So, what is Shadowport Adventures? Shadowport Adventures is a series of one-shots that has a connected universe of different Shadowports through the entire Outer Rim. So, different things. What we're looking here is doing one-shots that have touched different bases of different Shadowports, different things to bring different players in and run some fun games. Now, as we said, we are learning at times. We're using Roll20. Like I said, we're here to have fun. We're going to try to do as many rules as possible, but we can't remember all of them. So we might have to be on the fly. We might not. We're just going to have fun. The other thing is, I guarantee I will butcher 90% of languages, species names, and just names in general. So do not hold that against me, because even though I love Star Wars, I can't pronounce them. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for some games. So we already talked to the players about how we kind of set this up. And what this is, Shadowport Adventures Mercenary Tales. The mysterious benefactor, known as the information broker or the broker, has several recruiters throughout the entire universe of Star Wars, looking for different people to do different jobs. And he's got his eye on, the recruiter has some eye on these 4 individuals that are down on their luck in the Outer Rim. And Port Moore, like I said, is one of the ports that there is there. There's Port, as I'm stumbling, Darlin Bolga is there. There's Bolgar Prime. So there's a lot of different ones all around. Our players are starting on the Shadowport of Borgo Prime, and they are been recruited to do a simple job by the recruiter as an interview. This is their interview job. So they want to get good in with the broker to be able to do all the luxurious and the lucrative jobs later on, but you just can't give them to anyone. You got to test them a little bit to make sure that they're, worthy. So this is what this is. It's a simple job, and they've been told to go to Barb's repo shop and get a job and do the job. That's all they're going to do. So right now we're going to do a quick introduction of characters that we're playing with. So we're going to start with Jeremy. Please just tell me your character's name, a brief description, and so the audience knows who you're playing.
Yeah, hello again, everybody. I'm going to be playing Word. It is short for Dalward. Word Vung. He is a basilisk bounty hunter with kind of a shady past. Maybe shady present, too.
Cool. Thank you. Mike, what do you got?
Yeah, so I am playing Maze. She is a Moralian thief, and she's just looking for her next big score. Maybe this is the one.
Awesome. Thank you. Kurt.
I'm playing Dr. Jarrell Talmorian. He's a Carillion, and he's pulling this job off just so he can get some information from the broker.
Sometimes you just got to do those small little jobs so you can
little
get the big.
jobs.
Got to get the little cheese to get the big cheese later on. Dwight, who are we finishing off with?
I'll be playing Duncan Grimsby. Duncan is a human mechanic who has spent a better part of 40 years now working for the Empire and the Republic and wherever he can get a job. But nobody really likes him because he's worked both sides. He's a really good mechanic, but nobody seems to want to hire him. So mostly he's just been drunk lately.
So we're setting the scene is that they're currently at the Shadowport of Borgo Prime. And it's a pretty popular Shadowport. There's good industry here. There's, your general cantinas, your bounty hunters guilds, your employer guilds. So there's a lot of, it's a busy Shadowport, not one of your seedy ones, but a decent one. But in different sections of this particular city, there's different businesses and things of that nature. And one of the businesses is Barb's Repo Shop, which the characters have been asked by their recruiter to go get a job there. And that's where we're going to pick it up. So as the crew just left the cantina, walking their way to the shop, what do you guys want to do? And yeah, anybody?
I would make Jaw will make his way steadily towards the shop, as well. Time is money in this particular instance, and most information is time sensitive.
Okay. What do you see as you guys are walking down in this kind of somewhat seedy but not really, kind of dirty but Shadowport area? Anything?
I think that we're walking past a different cantina, one that it was even dingier and grosser than the one that we just came from, which is saying a lot. And I think as we're walking past, there's actually like a Rhodian that is thrown out the front door. It kind of like tumbles into the street right in front of us. And I think Delward just steps right over this Rhodian without even slowing down.
Cool. Now, there are two things that, as a new GM playing on stream, have completely forgot. Because what the interesting thing about this wonderful system, narrative system, is that there are two elements: your destiny pool and your obligation. And these things are rolled at the beginning of the game so to help kind of add factors into the game. Now, destiny pool is something for the light side and dark side that everyone basically can use over time. So I'd like all the players to go into the character sheet and hit me their destiny pool so we can tally that up to see what are we going to play with tonight. Oh, interesting. Are you hitting the... Oh, 1 second here. Surprisingly, we have a slight technical difficulty in that... All right. Everyone hit your dice pool again.
Aha! I have no destiny for this particular mission. That's okay. I'll make my own.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what... We might have our first technical difficulty, but you know what? That's going to be okay. No one's dice is showing up?
Yeah.
Weird. That is not interesting, because that should have... I thought that was working out. But you know what? Yeah. Okay. Nope. Okay, so you know what? The domain dice at top is what's going to affect our destiny pool tonight. So people, if you want them to be able to change their fate, donate.
Yeah.
But just for fun, we're going to start off with 2 light side points.
Okay.
So two domain dice. Throw them up there, and that's what you're going to start off with.
All right. Since you said so.
So we're going to do it that way. And then we're going to figure out what our technical issues later at a future rate, and we're going to figure that. Now, the other thing that we're going to do is our obligation. What obligation is each character has a little backstory and where they came from, what they have an obligation to, could be a debt, could be a sponsor, could be a criminal, things like that. So each of the characters has a different obligation. And so we're going to trigger that real quick. So guess what? Dalward's criminal obligation kicked in this. So what that means is, because your obligation kicked in, your strain threshold goes down by 2. Because you're nervous about something. You're not sure what, but something's really kind of kicking in right now. But everyone else's strain goes down by 1 because he's making everyone nervous. He's jabbering about something, so it's just kind of a little bit of that annoying, but a little bit of like something's bothering him and you're not sure. And it could be you just have a bad feeling right now and you're not sure how that bad feeling is going to play in, but I'm going to use that
Say it, Jeremy.
later in the game.
Say it, Jeremy.
So
You got to say it.
Got a bad feeling about this.
All right. So now that we got that taken care of, you guys are making your way down the seedy alleys. You're gonna see the different droids, different people kind of stumbling. It's kind of happy hour, midday, but there's still people running around intoxicated. And you see this big neon sign close to the front store, and there's what appears to be a hanger kind of connected into the behind it. And on the front store it says Barb's Repo Shop in big neon lights. And you're standing at the door. What do you guys want to do?
I think at this point, Maze's, and even throughout the whole walk towards there, I would have been kind of always checking every angle, looking for anyone like watching me or following, actually the group in general, and then even standing here, staring at the entrance to this repo shop, kind of looking around. Probably turn to the others and say, is it just me, or something's wrong? Something is wrong. I don't know what, but something is wrong. I don't like this. I mean, is it going to be just easy? We're supposed to what? Just go in and speak to this person and just fly a ship and that's it? Is it that easy? It doesn't seem that simple to me.
Well, I mean, you can always hope for it.
Yes, well, I can also always hope for a giant mountain of gold and jewels and other such wonderful things, but it's not going to happen unless we make it happen.
That's not true. So there's a temple on the backside of Malastair that I'm still trying to crack. Never mind. Let's just get the ship.
Yeah, if we could just quit talking and get on with it. My head hurts really bad.
Well, I think Word is standing at like a nearby vendor stall, and he's pretending to kind of peruse what they have out front, while kind of looking beyond this stall at the door to this shop. And he wants to sit here and scout it out for just a little bit. He doesn't feel right. What Maze is saying is already started to wear on him, and he's starting to kind of get a little itchy.
Okay. Time is going. You're watching that door, and you see the neons, and you see you can see through the window. There's a window. It's a little dusty, but you can see some movement going into the window, and it appears to be maybe one or two people that are kind of moving around inside the shop. And it's a small office type situation that you can tell just by kind of that window and where that door is. There's some bars on the outside of the door.
So they weren't exactly clear. Are we supposed to go in on our own or wait till the place closes? This type of area seems like a place that doesn't exactly close down at the end of the night.
You do remember that what the recruiter said is that there is a job posting at Barb's Repo Shop for a ship to be taken from here to Port Moore, and it's a legitimate job that you just take the job and they'll get paid the money to take that ship. It's a repo job.
I think we just need to go inside, and I'll start heading to the door.
I will follow behind Duncan, behind, in case this isn't as legitimate as the informant says it is.
You guys are always in such a rush. There's no reason to be so hasty.
Look, okay, but do you see anything that tells you we shouldn't go inside? Because, my God, it's so bright out here.
While they banter, I literally just walk through the door.
So you walk through the door and you hear the little ching, 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 ching as the door kind of slides open. You kind of get in, and it's a dusty, like small relative office. There's a whole bunch of posters on the right-hand side of the wall. There's desks and some filings. There's a door that kind of seems to go out to a back area. To the left, there's a desk, and behind the desk there is a middle-aged, probably in her 40s, woman, very down to earth, dirty, kind of nice little, engineering type garb on. She's got a little hat on. She's smoking. She's got a cigar that she's kind of sitting there smoking. A picture has been placed on Roll 20 for the characters. She's kind of sitting back. Her feet's kind of up. But also there's a Gran, which is a three-eyed individual, kind of in a standard outfit, nothing specific. It's got a blaster. He's kind of looking, pursuing some of the stuff. And he's kind of making some small talk with the one behind the desk. And as you guys walk in, she kind of takes the cigar out. It's like, gentlemen, what can I help ya? Hello there.
Don't forget the lady.
Hello, we are here inquiring about a job that you had posted. Something about transporting a vessel from here to somewhere else.
Well, we are a repo shop, so we do get the occasional ships come in and they need to be brought in. The job board over there's got 2 listings. I got one for Port Moore and I got one for where is that other one going?
We'll take Port Moore.
Ord Mandel. Yeah, Ord Mandel. I got a fire sprayer that needs to go to Ord Mandel, and there's some freighter, and I got a YT that needs to go to Port Moore.
So I walk over to the job board and just check it against what we've been told, just to make sure that it's matching up.
Matching up 100%.
Yeah, this is the one we're looking for. This Port Moore job. So.
And as you kind of look at it, the Gan kind of looks over at you. He's like, kind of mumbles to himself a little bit and kind of see ya, Barb, and then kind of leaves the office at the point. She's like, see ya, Ganta. So you want the Port Moore, huh? She kind of eyes you guys over a little bit and see the 4 of you. She's kind of like, you guys aren't any criminals, are you?
I'll have you know I'm a doctor of archaeology. Thank you.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Because you're not trying to
himself like across the room, facing the other direction.
You're not trying to score a free ship out of here, are you?
I think if we were trying to score a free ship, we'd take the fire spray. It has guns.
Well, the YT's got a little bit, but it's not. It's just your standard old beater. So, so you're interested in that ship, huh? Pays 1,000 credits total. It's about a 35-day job to get down.
Right, what kind of shape is this ship in?
1,000 credits?
You're getting a free ride. It's not a luxurious job. It's in flyable condition. It's been sitting here for a while. It's going to be getting some dust. It's cleaned out, so.
Are you sure it doesn't pay just a little bit more than 1,000 credits?
You could look at the job board and see how much.
Oh, I know what the job board says.
Well, see, this is what the owner wants. See, the owner's in Port Moore, and he's paying 1,000 for us to ship this ship down back to him, since the owner wants it back there. So he is paying 1,000 credits for this. He's paying you 1,000 credits, and I'm paying you 1,000 credits to go take the ship there. If you don't want the 1,000 credits, you don't need to take the job.
We'll
like
take
Charles,
the job.
like sitting there counting numbers, like that's not a lot of money.
I think we'll take the job.
So if you're going to take the job, there's a few things you need to know. You'll need to bring most of your own food, since we've pretty much cleaned it out. The hollow table is a little spotty at best. There's a limited water supply, so no bathing in pools of water the entire flight. Don't keep the shower on the entire time. I've got all your flight plans and all your fuel stops already scheduled. You have a limited time frame, so don't deviate from the paperwork. And she kind of goes to the drawers, grabs a folder, and just boosh. All your port fees have been paid for, and all you need to do is just fly the route that it's there. You'll have how many stops? So she's kind of looking. There's 6 stops, 5 stops, yeah. And just hit each port, and you're going to get enough fuel and repairs at each stop to get you to the next one. That way you can't steal the ship. Because if you steal the ship, I'll know. If you deviate off course and you don't show up at the fueling station, I'll know. And then I'll put a warrant on you and a bounty. And then they'll come after you because the owner wants his ship. And I deliver ships. Are you guys cool with that?
Very. Winter on Hoth.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's a cold planet. Never been there. Doc, you said you're a doctor?
Yeah, let's just get the show.
Yeah, you're looking a little confused. Are you okay there?
I'm perfectly fine. This just stinks of a trap. I've been in a few.
I don't know. I've got no traps. I'm looking for this job. So if you think there's a trap, whatever you need to do. So,
Yeah, we'll just I put my hand out. If you can just pass the paperwork.
there you go. The ship's out back, ready for you whenever you need it. It's called the Comet's Tail. And what you know is that as you kind of move your way back there, the Comet's Tail is an old modified YT-1300, where unlike the Millennium Falcon, which is the most famous YT-1300, this cockpit is actually in the center of the ship. If the players would like to look at roll 20, they will see what the Comet's Tail looks like. So it's very, very similar to exactly what a YT-1300 looks like, except like I said, the cockpit is in the nose section. There's enough bunks for everyone to stay. The cargo holds are empty. The refreshers and stuff like that are barely there. So it's just got enough for your travels. But if you need to get any other food or any of the supplies you need to go beforehand, you can before you leave. It's in a docking bay, and you just got all the paperwork and your flight plan to leave.
Right. Well, I'll just turn to the other three. Should we? Let's just go.
Well, I think we should at least maybe stock up on some food or something.
That's a good point.
35 days, that's a long trip.
Where's the cheapest alcohol I can buy?
There's one around the corner at the Sulamart.
Don't you think maybe being intoxicated on this flight could possibly... I mean, you are the mechanic.
Right. And?
But Charles just kind of like looks at Maze and just okay.
So I guess you guys are going to be in some close chambers for a long period of time. I hope your resistance and fortitudes are up for your personalities, because I can assure you that a long trip like this can always weigh on your personalities. You guys are going to have some fun, I could tell.
You must have been on a few of these.
In my day. There was this one time I got...
We should go.
Yeah.
Like turn it usher everybody towards the door.
Yeah.
Well, you boys have a good... you got to have a good trip. See you later. And remember, do not deviate from the flight plan that you were provided, because only bad things will happen.
What if we're forced?
That you're going to get in trouble on yourself, and you're going to have some heavy explaining to do.
I mean, there are these things called Star Destroyers, but hey, whatever, you know.
There shouldn't be any reason for you to run in any Star Destroyers. And then if the Imperials decide to stop you for inspections, you got the paperwork right there. It's all legit in there. So you should be fine, no problems. Now, if you're going to be doing some additional jobs while you're going, be aware that your times on each of these stops are limited and expected not to stay overnight. It's an in, quick, get refueled and get out. If you're staying longer, that means your trip's going to be longer and the client is not going to be paying you as much because you're not on the timetable that he has dictated.
Does the paperwork actually have, like on the data slate, does it actually have who the client is?
Yes, it does. So as you guys are looking through the data pad, there are a few things that kind of come up. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to get our first roll of the night. Who would like to roll an astrogation roll?
I'll take it.
All right. So before you roll, let me double check and let me get my dice pool already. This is going to be an average check. So it's going to be just 2 purple dice. So whenever someone's ready to roll, give me that roll.
Roll that beautiful being footage.
All right. So that is 3 successes and 2 threats based off of that roll. So here's the thing that you pick up immediately from this information. You know that the Comet's tail on the paperwork is that the new owner is Latofa, and he has commissioned the paperwork and he's commissioned the repo company to return his ship to the Port Moore Shadowport and Darlin Boda. The interesting thing is, as you look through the flight plan, there are several stops on this flight plan. And you actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. You have 7 stops at various points through this entire. And you're going from one part of the galaxy to the other, to the bottom part of the galaxy. And you're going to go through this little. All 7, each of the ports. The interesting thing is that you realize that the port stops and routes is not the most direct route. Actually, it bypasses some of the major trade routes. It's trying to avoid some detections and some transportation anomalies that might be there. So it's not trying to hide but it's not trying to advertise that the ship is going. You pick up that. The threat is you get a little nervous because why isn't it taking the direct route? So there might be some history with this ship and why the ship needs to go down there. The other thing you do pick up because of those successes is this was bought at an auction, and that the previous owner of the ship may have been working for the Hutts. And the previous owner who worked for the Hutt is presumed dead. And hence it was sold at auction. The new guy bought the ship, and it now wants it shipped down to Portmore. What would you like to do now? As you guys are getting some stuff on the ship?
Right. So
as we get to the ship, first thing I'm going to do, I do a walk around, checking for damage to the exterior. If I don't find anything that needs attention, I'll go right to maintenance bay, engine room, whatnot. I'm just going to give a thorough once over before we even think about starting this thing up.
Okay. And then Mike, what are you looking at doing as you're just before you take off?
Yeah, I again probably would purchase enough food and water, to sustain mostly myself, and then maybe a little bit extra in case someone else is, tries to cheap out on buying their own supplies for a month. I would probably start looking around for like any hidden spots, any like secret cargo. Like I've heard about these YTs, all the Corellian ships. I mean, Corellia, it's just a bunch of dirty thieves anyway. So, I mean, I'm going to look around. Yeah, you heard me. I'm going to look. I'm gonna look around for whatever I can, like any sort of like, maybe tapping on like where's a hidden bulkhead, where's a void space that someone would hide like something
Okay.
in there. And if I do find a void space, I'm gonna hide some of my non-perishable food in there.
Okay.
I
Cool.
don't trust these guys. I don't even know who the hell these guys are. So
Kurt, what are you doing before you two guys take off?
When I have a private moment, I'm going to use my my little comm stick there, and I'm going to call Lyra and ask her to pull up any information on the comet's tail that she can find, and then get back to me. And then I'm going to go purchase food and the most expensive bottle of, I don't know, Carillion ale that I can find, just in case our mechanic needs that extra oomph to get things working.
Okay. Sounds great. Jeremy, what is your character doing in pre?
So I think Word is probably bringing on food, but whenever they deliver the food, it's like twice what he probably would need. At least twice what any of you would probably need for this voyage. And he's making sure there's probably like a ridiculous amount like stored up in the cargo bay. He's making sure that it's all secured and things of that nature. And his next stop is the cockpit, where he's going to lower himself down into that chair, make the proper adjustments so that it's all at the right height and at the right angle. And he's going to start familiarizing himself with the controls.
Cool. Yeah, you're perfect. So we're going to kind of go back. So yeah, you sit down in the controls, things are going to be fine. You're going to be able to get that all set up. Kurt, you said you're going to be communicating with Lyra, your friend droid. Give me, I'm going to have you roll it, but give me a lore. Pick a lore. Let's see, what lores do we have a possibility on?
Lore? Okay.
Let's see. What's a good lore? We're going to go with, just plain lore, straight lore.
Okay.
Yep. What did you get for the audience? Okay. So 3 successes and 2 advantages. And we're going to come back to that information in just a minute. So some of that information that I gave you is probably based off of that. So now we're going to go to Mike. You're checking this. You're hitting those bulkheads and things of that nature, kind of checking out to see if any of those smuggling compartments that those things have in there. So I would like you to give me let's see. What do you think? Tell me, what role would you like to use for this? You have an option of skull.
Yeah, I'm thinking either skullduggery or streetwise.
Okay.
I think either one would probably.
Because you're using your knowledge or perception.
Oh yeah, or perception.
Which one would you like to use?
You know what? Literally all of them. All 3 of those have exactly the same. So
massive pool.
Dealer's choice. I mean, either I pick the yellow with the 2 greens, or the yellow with the 2 greens, or the 2 greens and the yellow. So I'll go with streetwise. Because
Okay.
I'll pull on my idea, like I'm a thief. I'm thinking I know where. If this was my hunk of junk, this is where I would probably put a secret compartment for all of my illicit, ill-gotten gains. All
right. So the pool is actually quite difficult, but it's been set. So roll when you're ready.
So I literally just hit this 20-sided die, ripped aside street. Okay.
That is correct. So as you're kind of looking around the ship and knocking it, you don't find any secret compartments. So you failed on your roll. But what I will give you is that there's a room called number 9, which is an engineering console area. That door is locked completely, and it's unaccessible. There's a big old lock on it. Like someone put Barb put a big lock on it, and it's basically, you're not sure if it's an engineering console or if it's just like a storeroom, or not a storeroom, but like some mechanical, like the guts of the ship, changing different information and like hacking, slicing into the ship. It's been locked up, so you can't actually access it. That's the one thing you do realize through this process. So yet. Yes. But other than that, that's the only thing that you kind of see. Right. At which point, now we go to Dwight. So you're looking at the ship. You're trying to figure out, is this, how it's working, checking the engines. Give me a mechanics roll, please.
Okay, you set?
I'm set. Advantage. So as you're kind of looking around, you're still in this it's one of those YTs. It's beat down. It's got some carbon scoring on it a little bit. You're looking at the systems. It's probably got a system strain on it and one hull damage from stuff, but it's still, the engines are good. It's got a class 2 warp or hyperdrive. It's in relatively good shape. There's dust kind of all around. The engineering rooms are good. The cargo bays are empty until you guys put your food in there. You've got a bunk and you've got your pilots, which sleeping arrangements, you guys decide if all 4 of you are going to be bunking in the same room or if the lady is going to be taking the pilot's spot. You guys kind of decide and tell me where you guys are bunking at that point. But other than that, the ship is in flyable condition. It's definitely, it's seen its days, but it's been kept up.
As I'll head back up to the cockpit, whoever's up there. She don't look pretty, but she'll get us where we gotta go.
Is she space worthy?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I don't foresee any problems that we'll run into here.
Excellent. I appreciate you looking at it.
Oh yeah, it's just nice to have a ship to work on, even if I don't have much work to do. It's nice to just look around for a bit.
I agree. It'll be nice to have one to fly. He's gonna kind of like put his huge hands kind of like over the console, as if like he's already started to familiarize himself and growing comfortable. I think she'll do just fine.
Okay. So you guys get your stuff in. You kind of back up. You're kind of just before the last person walks up the game. Barb's sitting there with her cigars, like, "Have a good flight. See you later. I'll be keeping tabs on you, so no funny business."
She's a very trusting lady.
Just kind of weighs you off a little bit as you start hitting those engines and you start that flight up stuff, and you just kind of ease out of the landing bay and kind of start on your way up to the sunrise as you're getting up through the atmosphere and you're getting into space. Hit those navigational. And Jeremy, I'm going to need an astrogation, unless you have a co-pilot that would like to help you, but I need an astrogation check to see how well you're going to be on your first leg of the trip.
So the fact that she had already put in a lot of the coordinates and stuff, that wouldn't give us any kind of edge.
You know what? Yes, it will. You're going to get a boost.
Okay.
But cool. The thing is, you realize too that some of the information is a little outdated, but not completely. But I'm going to definitely give you a boost because you asked. And that's the interesting thing about this game. There's no wrong answer. If you ask, give me the description and it will help you or hurt you depending on what you say. So sure enough, you get a boost. So cool. The dice are set. Give me a roll.
All right. Here we go.
All right. So as you're kind of plugging it in, you get up there, you hit the engine, the lights shine past you as you get into hyperspace. You realize on your first leg of the trip, it's going to take you about 2 days to get you the first stop. And as your guys are on your way, to kind of shorten things off during the legs of we don't have to completely play out, but is there anything in the first leg that first 2 days you're going to want to do or say or have conversations. So you're going to be able to have that group conversation and set bars up. So I'm going to leave it to the players within that first 2 days. Anything
Did I get any information from Lyra before we left? With my mega lore check?
Not before you left. So at the next stop, you're going to get all that information. After the first stop, she's going to be able to communicate with you.
Something tells me it'll be too late. What I have noticed, this interesting lock that is in the engineering area, but within the first couple of days.
It's not in the engineering area. It's actually in one of the game planks in the center of the ship. There's a few different refreshers, but on one of the sides, there's this door that has a big lock on it.
I would like to tinker with that lock.
Okay. What would you like? How would you like to tinker with that lock in the first 2 days?
I mean,
which brings up Mike. Since you were looking at this lock within the next first 2 days, would you have tinkered with this lock?
Most certainly would have.
Okay.
Good. Now it's a stream. So I've talked when muted. Now it's a stream.
It's a stream, yeah.
Yes, it is. So one of the things you can do is you can do it individually, separate, or you can combine your skills together to try to be able to work together on this lock. What would you guys like to do with that?
I would like to assist Maze while she goes at it because it seems more her alley, but my ability to crack into places that are ancient may come in handy. I may know a thing or two, so I feel better about helping her more so than her trying to help me.
Okay. So here's the question I have for you what is your Kurt, what is your skullduggery roll?
My skullduggery is 3 green.
3 green. And Mike, what is your skullduggery roll?
My skullduggery. Yeah. My skullduggery is sorry, I was just looking at because I have a thing for just this scenario, and I'm so happy that I can use it. My skullduggery is 1 yellow and 2 green.
Okay. What is the talent that you are taking that you've indicated that helps you with this?
Interestingly enough, well, there is bypass security, which means that I can remove one not disadvantage.
Setback dice.
Setback, thank you. Mm-hmm. 1 setback die per rank, which I have 1 rank, so I can remove 1 setback die. But more importantly, I have this thing called a scramble key, which I can unlock. I can bypass simple locks within 5 minutes. I may attempt a daunting skullduggery check to speed up the process if I want to. And
this is not your average lock. So, but you can, instead of speeding up, you can take your time and it would just be a regular roll. If you want to speed it up, you can try, but you have the time, you have all the time in the world.
Well, before I do, because I've played role-playing games before, I would like to do 2 things. One, I would like to check this lock for any sort of an explosive trap, electricity, any sort of device that if I were to try and hamper, like basically like an anti-hampering device, you know, is it attached with duct tape to a thermal detonator? I don't know. The second thing I would like to do is before I even attempt to approach this lock, I would also like to check the room for any sort of hidden monitoring devices, any cameras that are monitoring the lock, any sort of listening devices that are monitoring the room so that we don't go in, anything like that.
So this particular door is actually in one of the main circular hallways. So it's not in the engineering room or anything else. You think it's supposed to be the engineering, like a consult, like a quick access or process, but it's actually in the center. It's in one of the round aisles. First, if you're going to be checking to see if there's any cameras, that's going to be a perception check. And I'm going to say that's going to be easy. It's just going to be a straight easy check. So whenever you would like to give me a perception check, go for that roll.
My God, this is why Roll20 and I don't get along.
Uh-oh. What did I miss?
I failed.
Well, you know,
I'm assisting her, so wouldn't she get some sort of an advantage on that or something because I'm assisting her with this whole process?
You do get if you're assisting, you do get a boost dice. So go to your sheet and put in 1 blue dice and roll that.
Well, dang. All right, so there you go. So that is now 1 advantage.
It's just 1 advantage. So based on that, as you're looking around, you do not see any cameras. And you're pretty sure, like, if someone was going to put a camera, they would put it right here. It's not there. So there's no bugging devices or anything else like that.
Okay.
On here.
Okay. For anybody watching, well, you know what? Paranoia, okay, keeps you alive. Keeps you alive. Okay, so you can just laugh it all off about the whole, like, I enter the room and check for traps 6 times. Okay, alive.
Hey,
All right.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they aren't out to get you.
That's right. Exactly. 100%. So now on to the good stuff.
So
now
I will. You want to look to see if there is if there's a trap or something like that on the lock itself.
That is correct.
Okay.
Like
So I'm going to allow you to either do a perception check, or a mechanics check, or maybe a skullduggery. What would you prefer? What would you like to use?
Definitely not mechanics. That's for sure.
Okay.
So I'll probably do a skullduggery check, as the very nature of this is skullduggerous.
Okay. So based on what your skill you're using, the challenge rating is going to be slightly different. So since you're not using mechanics, you're going to use the skullduggery to be able to use. There's going to be a slightly different chance on that. But let me double check the dice pool on this. And all right, go for it. Should be ready for you.
Okay.
All right. So as you're kind of looking to kind of checking out this lock, you notice that it was specifically set here.
Sorry, quick question.
Yes.
And I apologize for interrupting. I do.
No problem.
But due to my ability, was this supposed to initially have 2 setback dice?
If I recall, I did have 2 setback dice in
Okay.
No,
Cool.
there was 1 setback dice. I'm sorry. So there.
And because of my ability, is it okay then?
Yep.
We call this one success and 1 threat.
Yes, we can. So
One more quick thing. Sorry.
Bonus.
Because I'm throwing in my 3 green dice for skullduggery to assist, wouldn't that at least bump one of his green to another yellow?
Unfortunately not, because
No.
it's not, you're not proficient, but there is supposed to be a blue dice added to this. So guess what? Because we're failing so well at this on our rolls because we're just learning.
Anything to get Mike's dice rolls up. Anything at this point.
Give me another.
All right.
There
you go.
So basically,
so 1 success.
1 success total.
There you go.
All right. So as you're tinkering around in this, you do realize that this lock system is, it's not alarmed, but you know that if this door is opened, it will transfer information to the repo company, or the information will be transferred that this door will be opened. So there's no bomb or anything else like that, but there is a reason why they don't want you in here.
Yeah, and now again, I don't want to like try and overstep my kind of overstep things as far as, like, I would assume that any character would have a general understanding of ships, much in the same vein that even people who don't drive have an understanding of cars, just kind of going through the logical motion. Would it be safe to assume that I would think that there is some sort of kind of a not an RFID chip, but some sort of a like like the license plate on a car that you can see. Every ship has a tracking, and then words are not like coming to my brain right now. But I think,
Transponder signal.
Thank you. Would I imagine that the identification of this ship would be behind this door, at least in this console? Like, could I logically put that together? And that's why they don't want us in here. So you can just take it and just kind of, okay, it's our ship now.
And and you're probably thinking that there's a tracker on the ship.
Gotcha.
And this was relaying to the transponder, hence why she was saying, stick to the route. If you go off course, I will know.
Okay. So I think I would probably set the lock aside, and then I would relay that information, probably not just, well, I think to everybody, like not just to Jaral, but like basically like, just let everyone know, this is that, and maybe we won't mess with the door just yet.
And that's
until we have to.
And as you kind of go into the realization that, giving someone a job to take a ship to another place, there's got to be some safety protocols in place. They got to be able to track the ship. They've got a very, very specific route that you have to kind of keep going. It's to prevent the ship from getting stolen. And if it does get stolen, they're going to have to figure out a way to be able to track you. So you're pretty sure that the transponder or information on a tracking device is in here, and that it's just relaying information on your course.
Well, at least it's not a bomb.
So over the course of the next 2 days, you guys relax to each other. Your boredom may have set in. Books, the hollow chess game works on time. You just basically spend your day lounging
And
relaxing. Drinking. It's the easiest 1,000 credits you're making right now, because all you are is on a ship for a month in close quarters with each other. So right now, I'm not going to have you roll those disciplinary rolls yet, because you're still new to each other. When we get closer on, you might have to make some getting each other's nerve.
Jarl is periodically going to walk around, and when nobody's looking, intentionally break something just to give Duncan something to do, because Duncan strikes him as a very somber man who needs his hands to be working.
That's very accurate, very observant. This whole time, Duncan has been one of three places: either sitting behind Word in the cockpit, just kind of silently being there, but listening to every like knock or word that he can hear that sounds out of place, which gets him out of the seat and right back into the engine room, looking around, trying to figure out where it is, trying to get things running as smoothly as possible, or he's sleeping. But he's always got what I imagine is the Star Wars Galaxy Far, Far Away version of Cutty Sark in his hand at all times. And he's just taking a pull every once in a while. Never gets drunk. He knows he's been doing this a long time. He knows exactly how much to just keep the edge off. Again, he's either sitting, kind of just quietly shooting the shit with Word, or wandering back to fix things. And when he does come across that odd wire that's been pulled loose or thing that's been knocked off, he quickly runs over and makes a meal out of fixing it. Like, it probably doesn't take as long as it actually does, but he makes sure that it's immaculate when he's finished. So
okay. So over the course of the next 2 days, like I said, it's still new. You guys are flying, and you're coming upon your first destination, which is Irkit, the planet of Irkit, and all the information is in there on. You're doing that you're not in a normal hangar bay or anything. What you realize too is that you're going to like the quick gas up and go. So the quickie mart, you're in, getting your repairs, getting your gas, getting your refreshers, and boom. And you notice that all the paperwork is set. So it's all been prepaid. It's all set. All you need to do is land. They refill you, and you're off. So being able to get out and run around and do stuff, you might have a very, very limited time to do something like that. So as you're kind of coming in, you get your message from the flight controller. information about your landing. You indicate your location where you're supposed to land. They get you down. You kind of land in that spot. The maintenance crew kind of comes over, and you see this woman. Maintenance crew comes up and waiting for you guys to open up the door, and kind of waiting for you as you get open up. It's like, she's got a little back here. She's like, so I see you got the prepaid refueling and maintenance stop here. Should take about an hour. I'll let you know when we're all finished.
I'll keep an eye on the maintenance crew if you don't mind.
Okay. If you need to. And two guys kind of rush up. They're a little scrummy looking at times, but here's refueling, and they're hitting the hoses, and they're kind of doing a scan of the ship and stuff like that. What is everyone else doing for the hour that they're refueling?
I check in with Lyra.
So Lyra, information that Lyra has for you is that a Trandoshan. Yeah. This ship used to be a Trandoshan's bounty hunter named Brax. And he worked for the Hutts, specifically Gouda, which is Gnuda, from the Kashyyyk, from the Gouda Kashyyyk. His current whereabouts is unknown, but he's presumed killed by the Hutts. For some reason, he offended them. Hence, his ship was repoed and sold on auction. A gentleman that was down south by the name of Lantofa purchased the ship, and it has been sitting at the repo shop for over 3.5 months.
Well, that explains the smell.
So everything's legit on the process. So
is there anything, would the bounty hunter's name ring a bell at all? Like, oh shit, that's someone we need to worry about.
Nope. No,
okay.
He was a medium level bounty hunter, nothing, but he either crossed the hut, didn't fulfill a job, or he did something that really is unclear, but he's disappeared and he's presumed dead.
Double cross the guild. They'll get you every time.
Yep, something like that. So that's what you picked up on there. But
right.
There are no active, like no one is looking for the ship. No one wants the ship. There's no information that the Hutts even care about the ship. And that's why it was sold in auction, and it pretty much got sold in auction about 3.5 months ago, but it's been sitting in there for almost like 2 months earlier. So it's been sitting there for almost like a long time. So no one cares about this ship.
Gotcha.
It's not a huge deal. Dwight, so you're sitting there drinking and watching these guys refill the ship and looking at the stuff?
Yeah, I'm not. This is one point where I would not be drinking, and I'm not sitting. I'm following. I'm hovering over their shoulder the whole time.
You're making them nervous. You're absolutely making them nervous. And they look over and it's like, and they're like, Chief. Chief comes over. You gotta let my guys work. What's the problem?
I don't have a problem. I'm going to watch you what you do. I'm responsible for this ship, and I will be making sure that that you don't mess my girl up.
Don't cause any problems. You're making my guys nervous. They can't do the job well.
Just standing here. If they can't work with somebody looking over their shoulder, well, I don't know what to tell you. You need to get some new people.
Give me a perception check, and let me set the difficulty real quick. Yeah, I think that's that'll be. It's just an average check with a little setback because you're being spoken to, and so give me a roll. All right. So as you're kind of looking around, you're kind of like, they're nervous, and they seem to be. They don't like being watched, but they're not doing anything bad. They're just incompetent. They seem to be. And one of them is kind of refueling, and he's nervous, shuts it down, kind of leaves. The other guy is kind of looking. He's like, Chief, we found it. We found some problems. And it's like, as they're kind of looking at some of the maintenance bay, there's a faulty what's the word? A power coupling. They ended up pulling something back. You must have missed it in your first initial because you didn't actually tear the ship apart. But as they're tearing, like doing some of the maintenance, and they pulled a hatch down and kind of checking the systems and one of the gears, there's a power coupling that's corrupt. It's like, all right, go grab one of them. And she kind of looks over. Can they replace the power coupling?
I don't know. Can they?
I think they can. So they come over, and as you're watching, they're replacing the power coupling as the other guy finishes the refueling from the other side of the ship and stuff like that. And yep, it hits in. It's like, there, part of the plan. And she kind of looks at you. Are we good?
Does it look like they did it right?
Yes, actually, it looks like they did it right.
I approve.
Well, thank you. It's part of the package. It was prepaid. This is what we do.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay. Well, we seem to be ready. You guys can leave and whenever you'd like. So thank you very much for your service.
And thank you as well. And I'll turn and head into the ship.
Okay. And like I said, an hour. It took about an hour. Is anyone jumping off the ship and coming back to grab anything?
Oh yeah. Gotta stretch the legs. Oh.
Yeah, I probably would have I probably would have gone out, and I imagine with any sort of refueling station, that's kind of what the norm would be, like a truck stop. Mm-hmm. Everyone goes out, stretches their legs. There's a small place that you can spend your credits, like a Barnes and Noble attached to a gas station rest stop. Don't eat the sushi. And I'm probably gonna go. I'd probably go in and do some shopping. Grab a few
things. Pick up a book on tape.
No. Okay, no. Data pad or nothing. Okay, don't trust anyone reading my books to me. So yeah, I'll probably grab a couple of like data pads of different books. I find an interesting one. It's by Mershak Thagoin. Famous Bothan philosopher called The 12 Rings of Intrigue, and it's a very very heavy read, but I find it to be really interesting. So I'm gonna grab it, pay for it. No, I'm going to steal it because I'm a thief. Come on, but I am gonna get some like delicious looking snacks and like a bottle of like cheap bourbon and just kind of pay for all that, but I'm going to steal the book.
How are you stealing the book?
This is now a thing. This is now a thing.
Yeah, I'm going to
stop. Yeah, we're going to be.
No. This is the only time I'm going to do this, but I would feel like I'd be a shitty thief if I didn't steal at least one thing in this session. So yeah, I snag it pretty much. I imagine it's just like it looks like it's probably on like some sort of a display of different like cheap, kind of cheap throwaway data pads, mm-hmm. That or like even cards where it's like, you just insert the kind of like an SD drive into the data pad, mm-hmm. downloads it. And I'm just gonna kind of do the old razzle dazzle, and distract the guy, point to something behind him, and then just kind of snag it like under the table, like. And
all right, that I'm not going to give you a setback. So your description was well enough that you gave a little bit of distraction. So that reduced it down, and I took away the setback. But it's going to be an average skullduggery check.
Okay, I'm just gonna plunk that.
Yeah, skullduggery is the right one, I believe, for that.
Yep.
So give me a roll.
All right. Also,
mm-hmm.
I'm also going to use my. I have a passive thing called indistinguishable.
Mm-hmm.
So just the way I've got my hood or everything else kind of like taken up and everything else, it's going to be hard to remember who the hell I was.
Sounds good.
All right. And oops, nope, skullduggery.
Oh yeah, no problem, no problem. They even smiled at you. Yeah, you got it. You get on board, and you're like, you're good. You're good. Definitely
Yeah,
good.
and I definitely say thank you,
Mhm.
and I hope and I wish him a pleasant day.
And they did not. They didn't even see you. They're probably going to be blaming it on someone else that came through later that day because of how well you did. So,
Oh.
Jeremy, you wanted to do something.
Yeah, I think Word ends up at basically the equivalent of like an internet cafe.
Okay.
And I think we see him eating some kind of massive, greasy burger like food with
Mm-hmm.
one set of his hands, and his other hands are actually on the keyboard, like searching the HoloNet. And he wants to scour the HoloNet for information about himself. He thinks that something is wrong right now, and he just knows it deep down that somebody's looking for him.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is it's gonna be an average check. I'm gonna give you a boost dice. So if you want to add a boost dice to that, but because we're going to be doing something interesting, and generally how Destiny dice work is it's a give and take. Dwight, would you add one more dice to that pool of 3? And I'm going to upgrade this difficulty because I want to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So now you generally how it happens is if you use one, I get to use one. So what we're going to do is since I'm going to theoretically use one, I'm going to give you one. So I have one more left. So you started off with 2, I started off with 2, looking at it that way. So the dice are set for your roll. So let us see what you get.
And what would you like? Would you like computers or streetwise?
Computers, since
Computers. Right. Oh. Sound like it. May not have hit it hard enough. Hang on.
There it goes.
There it goes.
There he goes. So as you're kind of checking through the computers and stuff like that, yeah, you're not finding anything on you. You're fine. Yeah. And even better is like, yeah, even though you weren't successful at finding anything on you, you start to reassure that you're fine. Nothing seems to be tracking you right now, so to speak.
Excellent. So this is going to be enough to, at least for the moment, to kind of help him relax a little and come back from the edge. But he's going to enjoy the hot, greasy food while he can before they're back on rations and
Cool.
Cold food for the rest of the trip.
Nice. So you guys get back on the ship. It's all fixed. You guys are ready to, and you take off. And you're on your next leg of the trip, which is about 7 days at this time. So we're gonna kind of shorten things up a little bit. But as you're kind of going, the days kind of maunder on. It gets into that mundane, maybe some boredom, maybe not some boredom. Trying to keep your sanity a little bit. Well, there's only so many conversations you guys can have about certain things. You're trying to find that pastime. And on about the 6th day, you guys are sleeping, and you guys it's that same day. You went to bed, everything is fine, there's no issues. It's that mundane things over and over again. But on just like you wake up and you're almost at the next port, and you got about a half a day maybe left to get to the port. You guys are sleeping fine until you guys suddenly hear this.
I am out of my
And
bunk.
this. And you also hear. Suddenly there's weird noises and alarms going off. And we're going to take a break and find out what happens next.
Beautiful. I love it. So
So we're going to take a 5-minute break.
about 10. We say about 10. So Yep.
About 10. We're going to take about a 10-minute break, and we're going to hit the refresher, and we'll be right back. And we're going to find out what has happened to the ship. Dun dun dun.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be right back.
And we are back. Welcome, friends. We just heard and woke up the wonderful crew on their wonderful, long, relaxing ship ride on the repoed ship of a YT 1300. They woke up to the alarming sounds of that Caxon alert and some really loud, garbled, oinkish or really heavy metal mix of noise being pumped through the speakers all over, and it all hits. The other thing, so suddenly they all get woken up startledly by this information. Dwight's like, the character's like, he gets up. What are the rest of you doing? Suddenly you get woken up by this large noise and this beeping. What are you going to do right away? You're in your bunks. You wake up.
I just
Sounds like a Gamorinian love ballad. What is going on right now?
Yeah, I roll out of. I mean, I basically have a mattress on the floor in engineering, and just kind of roll over in my skivvies and jump up. And I mean, head is pounding as much as the noise is blaring in the room. Just trying to figure out what the heck's going on.
I think in the same room as Jarrell, Word has rolled over, which actually causes him to fall out of the bed and onto the floor. And that's just kind of like, oh,
You all right, buddy?
yeah, I'm fine. Just let me. He kind of like reaches out with, 3 hands to stabilize himself and kind of lifts his heavy frame up off of the floor. What's that god awful noise?
And it's piercing. It's loud and hurts badly.
I would stumble out of bed. I'd be like getting quickly dressed, and then trying to exit as I was like finishing getting dressed. So I'd probably even miss the door, hit the wall, and with the noise just kind of disorienting, kind of going through the doorway, quickly looking for everyone else, and probably shouting over the din, what is that? That is awful. Can we make it stop, please?
So as you open the doors and as May as you come out about the same time, the other guy, as Ren and or Warren, Word, Gord. Names are bad. I can't say it. Word and the doctor come out of the bunks. Suddenly you are just hit by this wafting smell of awful burnt decay, just horrible, the worst smell you can possibly think of. And suddenly, as the doors open, you were just wafted into this, as now the smell and alarms and everything is just hitting your senses all at the same time.
Do I recognize this smell?
Not yet that you can think of it. It's a combination. It could be related to decomposure, but you're not 100% burnt decomposure, maybe. But one thing I'm going to give you is that noise that's rattling. It sounds almost operatic, as if it was a Gomorian opera, just bellowing as the pig noises and the heavy metal in chime with each other. But the smell just hits. Yes, Dwight.
I would like to think that I have to fight off waves of nausea as the smell and the sound combine with the hangover that I'm nursing at early in the morning.
Oh, you all have to. So please, everyone, I need you to roll me a resilience check.
Resilience. Just roll it now. Are we good or no?
We're good. So we're going to start off with Jeremy. Please roll first. Okay. You throw up. It hits you and you just barf right on the floor. And
There's still a little bit of that greasy burger-like meal in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's something. And it just hits you. You're not prepared for it, especially with all the noises, and you retch it. So you are going to be getting setbacks for the noise and for the smell. So everything you do right now is going to have 2 setbacks applied to you until the noise and the smell can be removed. Next, let us see. Who do we want next? All right, let's Mike, give me a roll. Same one. You're like, okay, this. Yeah, I've dealt with this. You are going to be getting setbacks for the noise and just the blaring noise. So you're going to have 1 setback to you, in addition to you. Kurt, how's the doctor dealing with this? Yeah, you've got 2 setbacks coming. You're just like, because of the noise and because of the smell, it just reminds you of that time you did the dig and you opened the door and just this. The first time you ever hit that temple and you just retched, it just reminds you of that smell, and you're just bad memories come. So everything until things get fixed, you have 2 setbacks going to be added here, which I will add. But and then finally, Duncan, let's give that resilience roll. You're like, yeah, I've slept.
Been here.
Been here.
It's just kind of like a little bit of a dry heave.
Yeah, and you're gonna have 1 setback.
Okay.
So
This
everything you do, you have 1
festival
setback.
at Utapie.
So you know that the noise and stuff like that is coming from the cockpit. And so what do you guys want to do at this point?
I would like to rip the sleeves off of my shirt, douse them in water, wrap one around Word's face to cover his nose and mouth, thus deadening the smell that is like probably bombarding his nostrils, and doing the same for mine to hopefully allow us to think and operate just a little bit clearer using this old trick I picked up having dug in a tomb or 2.
With your advantage, I'm going to say it might help. It might help, but we'll see. We'll see. As the noise is blaring and the alarms are going off, Mike and Dwight, what are you guys doing?
I'm slowly trotting from engineering towards the cockpit, which is where apparently the sound is coming from.
Okay. Mike?
I'm going to be following to find out what this is. If it was like a trap or something, I'm going to get ready to slice into the computer if I have to.
Okay. So you're actually right next to the cockpit. So you kind of turn around. You're going to get into the cockpit first.
Yeah, jump into because there's the let's see what we got here.
There's a pilot and a co-pilot spot.
It looks like there's a 3rd seat.
Yeah, there's a technician.
So that's what I would probably jump into, that 3rd seat, because someone's going to obviously need to fly the ship, and that's definitely not me.
Okay.
So yeah.
So Jeremy, you just got done. Your character just got done with Ralph, and he gets his composure again. It's got a little bit. Where are you heading?
I think he kind of takes a moment to clear his head as best he can, just kind of remembering what direction he needs to go, trying to sort through this kind of like sensory overload that's happening at the moment. He kind of turns towards Jarrell after getting this sleeve kind of tied around his face and kind of nods a thank you wordlessly to him before he turns and heads towards the cockpit. That's got to be where this has got to be stopped at. So.
All right. So as you get to the cockpit, Maze is already kind of looking at the systems and things of that nature. There's a whole bunch of lights flashing. So you're seeing some red script kind of going. There's an irritating, and there's some information being popped up. There's a red icon that has a crescent moon on it that's red flashing. There's a few other buttons that are like red flashing. And just the noise is just blaring. And you're pretty much, the script is in some language. You're not sure, possibly Transdoshan, but it's just kind of scripting and off on one of the screens. Maze, you said you were going to try to sit into and try to get into the computer and fix something, just as Jeremy's character jumps into the pilot seat.
Yeah,
right?
So I'm basically going to go into the systems, find out if this is a wonky subroutine, find out if this is some sort of a something.
So as you're looking through this, you realize that there is a low fuel alert. You have low fuel. Something for some reason that's not, which triggered an alarm system, which triggered a whole bunch of other stuff. But there's, like I said, there's this Transdoshan script of information that seems to be going. And then there's this horrible smell that's just kind of radiating through the entire ship. And you're not sure. You're pretty sure that you might be able to turn the sounds off based here. But you'd have to do a computer skill.
And I do plan on doing that, or at least attempting to.
Okay. So what noise do you want to take out first? The alarms or the Gomorian opera soundtrack?
That's the one. Yep, that's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one.
All right. So as you're sitting there, it's going to be, let's see. So it's going to be a relatively average roll, except because of the noise, it's going to be upgraded to a challenge dice. But you have, if I recall, 1 or 2. You made your resilience check.
Yeah, I made my resilience check. I got like 3 successes or something like that.
So you
and I'm going to use probably a. Oh no, I can't use that one. Never mind. Nope. Carry on.
Are you going to upgrade?
You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna upgrade my computers so it'll be 2 yellow.
All right.
Now, do I need to do something on that or?
So if you go to your character sheet.
Yep.
And if you at the top of your character sheet, you're gonna where you see there's the dice pool.
Yep.
They'll right below the yellow, the green, and the blue dice. There'll be on the left hand side it says upgrade. And then on the right-hand side, it says downgrade. If you click one upgrade, it will automatically upgrade your dice, one of your greens to a yellow.
Okay, now I love that. That's wonderful. All right, so yeah, 1 upgrade. Computers, and I can do it. Good.
Go for it. The setback has been set.
Well, poop.
So as you're trying to hit this, because it's in Transdoshan, you think, oh, it'll be here. No. The previous owner has a soundtrack embedded in the system. It's not in your normal files. It's in a subroutine that for some reason, because the alarm kicked on, it activated the subroutine. And you're like, you're like, it's not here. It should be right here. It's not here. You can't turn off this loud noise.
So I see there's an engineering console back where I am. Would I be able to access any of this from that console? Would I be able to see what's going on here, or is this strictly cockpit-oriented stuff?
It's mainly cockpit-oriented. You might be able to do the smell.
Okay, yeah. So
with a maintenance check.
I'm absolutely taking a look at my console to figure out what's going on there. So
because of the ventilation system, there's something being pumped out. This awful, burnt, just horrid smell is filling the entire ship, and you're not sure why. So this is going to be give me a mechanics check. Unfortunately, because of the noise and the smell, your setback is going to be
astronomical.
You're going to have 2 setback on this.
And is that the black die?
Yeah, that is a black dice, and I'm going to control the black dice and the challenge, the difficulty.
And as my with my gearhead talent, I do get to remove one black die. So. Okay,
did we put that in your skill tree already? Okay, so
automatically.
It should automatically do. If not, then we'll adjust it accordingly on the roll. But give me that mechanics roll to see how well you figure out what the problem is.
And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to also spend one of these Galaxy die, which is the name I'm workshopping right now.
Galaxy die is nice.
And we'll spend that and upgrade one of those, and we'll go ahead and roll this mechanics check. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. See, Duncan
for
is at his best when he's hungover and on the verge of vomiting. He works at 100% efficiency in this moment.
So, and just to let you know, because of in your character sheet, we did a minus B in your skill tree. It automatically took away one of the set to back dice. So we can program it, and the roll went completely fine. So as you're doing this, you're like, you figure out that power coupling that they fixed at the other. They did a great job fixing it. Unfortunately, there was a reason why that power coupling was taken offline. It was housing a refrigeration unit and a seal to a secret compartment that was that's located in a different location. Because of that, power was redirected and something happened at that power junction that caused the air flotation, the sealed room to be unsealed, and now has just flooded the ship with this awful smell that's probably been baking for a few months. So, and you realized that if you're looking at Roll20 right now, right here is where the power junction is relaying to. So there's probably something behind that wall.
Okay. So then I guess the next thing I would do is I would go start to check out that area where.
Okay. And as you get over there, we're gonna go back to the cockpit. So in the cockpit, as you kind of sit down and you're looking at this, you realize that the fuel leak or low on fuel, you didn't get enough fuel, and you're not going to make it to your next stop. But there's a way to do it. You need to do an astrogation check to probably try to see if you can find a quicker route from where you're at with the amount of fuel that you have. So you need to do, it's going to be an easy roll, but the problem is because you failed your resilience, you're going to have 2 setbacks because your focus on trying to be able to do this is just impaired. You're trying to make the course, trying to figure stuff out, and trying to find that quicker route with the noise blaring and the smell and everything is just awful. Upgrading might be a good thing, might not be a good thing. Because if you don't make it, you might be short.
Yeah. I think I'm going to use one of those galaxy dice.
Okay.
Okay, so we go. Where was the upgrade part?
It's right under it's the blue, green, and yellow dice. Just below it on the left-hand side is upgrade. On the right, just click one of those.
Okay. All right, here goes nothing. Hold on to your butts.
All right. So, as you start flying, you think you got it, and you're like, you plot the course, and you jump into the hype, and you're flying. You think you're gonna make it. But we'll find out if you make it in a moment or two. Doctor, as you're sitting in the cockpit too, Maze was trying to get this Gamorrean stuff, and she's just like, it's supposed to be here, but it's not. I can't shut. There's the alarm going off, and there's Gamorrean. What do you want to do?
Well, since we're at light speed, my original plan is now shot to shit. So, I will go to the source of this particular problem and try and assist Dwight in closing the door.
So, are you looking for the? Okay, so the He determined that the smell is coming from a secret compartment that is currently sealed. But the
Oh, I thought it
seal-
was opened, and that's what had flooded the area.
the air vent got opened, but the door, the secret compartment hasn't been opened yet. But you can tell where it is now, and there is a better chance of actually, because of the pressure is being pushed, you actually can find it and try to open it.
I'm going to go to life support first and do a quick purge of the air filter system to, in theory, remove the smell at a minimum by purging. Like, everybody hold your breath for a minute. Boom! And then just, just like launch all the air out of the ship and then let the ship repressurize to hopefully get rid of the smell and whatnot.
Okay. Give me a computer roll.
Ooh, okay. I guess
And
I can do that.
I'm gonna make this is gonna be easy.
I would also like to use one of these galaxy dice because I want this to happen.
So the thing is, you do have
Yo, Sam?
so because of the all the wonderful because you didn't make your resilience, if I recall. No, yeah, you missed your resilience.
But I made the
You did
masks.
not-
But I made the masks.
But you did make the
I
masks.
made the
Yes,
masks.
you did make the masks. You did. That's why I'm going to give you a boost.
You're going to give it
Besides
to me, or do I have to click the thingy?
You click on the boost. So
Okay.
You click on the blue button, boost.
Blue button. All right. And then roll my
All right,
computers.
so I'm ready. Yep, roll them.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
So as you're typing in, you're like, everyone hold your breath. And it kind of goes out. And then you shut it again, and the smell goes down considerably. I'm going to say, because of that wonderful roll and you to advantage, you no longer have setback for the smell. So everyone is just going to have one setback for everything they do based off the wonderful Gomorian opera that's bellowing through the ship and the alarm system that's still going off.
You know, the opera kind of grows on you after a little bit.
I think that's just your loss of hearing kicking in.
What?
Is there a button
so-
that is like just shut down all noise, all sound? It's like a manual override.
You can try
button?
to find it with it is a computer check. So yes, you can
Okay.
try to find it. Give me a computer check.
I'm gonna do that.
And
Use the
I'm going to
theory.
say, all right, I'm set on my end.
All right, here we go. Ooh.
Yeah, you're like, it should be right here. And suddenly this Transdotion information starts coming up. And you're like, does anyone read Transdotion?
Where would that be at?
Character info?
Nah,
Yeah, I do.
it'd be character info, but generally
I think that was rhetorical.
everyone yeah, generally if there's information that it's like you would know most languages and things of that nature in communication. This particular one, because of how this module or this source was, it's a different dialect of Transdotion, so you're having difficulty understanding it. Yes.
Question. Could I use
Yes.
my knowledge skill xenealogy to apply it to possibly deciphering some of this Transocean to maybe get us a little farther along in turning off the alarm?
I'll give it you even better because you rolled some advantage in your computer check, and you realize, oh, there's a translator button that you can translate the Transocean to common,
Handy.
and then suddenly the red script of Transocean suddenly wiggles out and turns into common, or not common,
Arabesh.
Arabesh speak, and the information that's starting to go through is that you see is low fuel information, that the Navicomputer, or excuse me, the alarm system was connected to the alarm system was connected to the Gamorrean. So it was, for some reason, some subgroup. But in the script, you see transponder operational, receiving signal, emitting codes response, several numbers for follow, and just basically gives information that the ship is being tracked. And it's the transponder that is being sent. So the information that you had gotten before about what that room was, it's being... you do see that there is in the Transocean, turn music off, turn music on, turn alarm on, turn alarm off.
Like everybody sees this now?
Yeah, everyone sees this.
Okay, good.
So as you're gonna hit the button.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna stylus and just...
Suddenly your ears, soothing music of nothing, as the Gamorrean chant leaves, the noise echoing through. And then the next button, the alarm system just ends. And suddenly your ears stop ringing after about a minute or two of the loud noises. You're starting to relax again. What are you guys doing?
What?
I throw up.
Now he throws up.
I'm probably going to get up out of the chair. I'm going to make my way to the lounge, and I'm going to make myself some breakfast because my sleep schedule is screwed now. So I might as well eat something.
I go and with Maze, and she's got the right idea.
Anybody got any bacon?
The stench smell is still there, but you know that it's not as prevalent. And you see Duncan was looking at this corridor area of the ship.
So, did we figure out what the secret compartment was, where all this stuff was, or that's...
You know where it is, but you haven't found the door.
So I'm going to keep looking through the systems. I want to see if there's anything in the systems that gives me any kind of access to getting it open, or tells me how to get it open.
Give me a mechanics check.
And Delward is going to be coming back, kind of once he gets autopilot re-engaged and everything seems to be, copacetic. He's going to make his way back to that kind of bulkhead section that's kind of sketchy. Mm-hmm. He has the same trait that Maze was using earlier.
Okay.
It's called bypass security. Yes.
Okay.
Bypass security.
So I will take.
So if I can help Duncan do that, then
perfect. What is your skill in mechanics? Do you have any skill in mechanics?
Doubtful. Let's see. Switch back to skills. Annex. I have 2 green, so no ranks.
So Duncan, you're going to get a blue boost chip on your thing.
I'll add it there.
So,
are you adding it? You want me to?
You add it. You go ahead and add. And the dice are set, so it's going to be a hard check to kind of go through the mechanical part. But you're going to trace the lines, and because of your success earlier, it's not going to be as hard of a check because you've already figured out where it is. Oh, yeah. This is one of the reasons why people looking at the door won't find it, because the access point is in the engineering. So you're like, you hit the buttons, you're like, and suddenly a door opens to a small secret compartment in this area. And after it opens up and you're kind of looking, there's a crate in there. And the smell just kind of lofts out a second. And it's this horrible. But this crate says ship supplies, ship parts. There it is. It says ship parts on this, large crate. And that's what's in there.
Yeah, as soon as I see ship parts, I'm heading right for it. So, Yeah.
and you kind of easily kind of open it up because, like I said, it appears to be the remains of a burnt Transdotion.
Oh boy. Hey, and I'll key my comms. So we got a problem, y'all. There's a burnt Transdotion in a box back here, and I'm pretty sure that's what we've been smelling. So,
Gerald quickly runs down there with like half a strip of bacon hanging out of his mouth and like a biscuit in the other hand. Like, whoop. Got any gear on him?
does this look like recently burnt or burnt for a while?
It's been in here for maybe 3 to 5 months.
Okay.
And it was in a sealed compartment,
Okay.
and it's been lofting in here. And because it was sealed and the power,
So not likely this was something that somebody was trying to smuggle unbeknownst to us. This is-
no,
okay.
it's possible the captain got put there.
Okay. What else is in this area? Anything else? That's it?
That's it.
Just this box? And the
Just
only
this
markings
box.
on the box are ship supplies?
And on the one side and the other side, ship parts.
Okay. Oh. Any identifiers on this body?
Unfortunately, no. It is
Crisp.
decomposed, burned, crisp, and
Must have been the previous owner.
Yeah.
there's a very high probability.
So while I was trying to make myself some breakfast, I pour myself, like some kind of cereal, like, I don't know, C3POs. And you laugh, but I miss that
Oh, man.
cereal. That's the one cereal I remember from as a child in the 80s. Yeah, the 80s were a thing. So I reach for my blue milk, and I go to port, and I realize that there's just like a few drops left. And being in this same ship with these 3 individuals, being tired of it, I just get like frustrated. Like at first I'm like, no, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. And I keep looking at it and I'm like, no. And I just kind of slam the container down and I put the cereal down and I go marching over and I look at the crate and I just grab the crate by one handle and I begin to walk kind of around and I go into this basically this airlock. I just walk right through, plunk the thing down. I march straight back and I'm stomping at this point because I'm angry. And I close it, slam the thing shut, and I just activate the airlock and vent the Transdotion bits into space.
Okay.
And then I look at each one of them and I'll say, I don't know who did it, but I'll find out, and you owe me new blue milk. And I go back and I grab my bowl of dry cereal and I go right back to my room and I'm going to read that book and try hard not to kill all of them.
I'm lactose intolerant.
I walk over to Maze's room and I just kind of knock on the door frame and I hold out my whiskey bottle. This goes pretty well with those. Just
I'm gonna hold up my own, I don't know, famous gross version of that, and I'll say, I know, and I'll just eat, and I'll just read my
for the
book.
first time since any of y'all have met me. Duncan smiles and knew I liked you. I just walk away.
Duncan, are you going back to the engineering room at this time?
Yes.
So as you make your way, you kind of walk down this way. If you're on the map, you're in the southern. Remember that console door that was locked? It's open.
The one
You just
the
gotta
one that we
walk-
tried to get open earlier that we thought might be.
Yeah, you walk right past it, and then just as you pass it, you realize
I
you look
kind of
back,
do that thing where I
it's
take
completely
2 steps past it and then stop and just kind of back up and look.
Yep.
And I key my comms again. Hey, this secret door's open. And I'll walk in.
So what you see is there's basically what appears to be like a console, like computer console for engineering some diagnostics. But as you're kind of getting closer, it slightly opens and moves, and there's a crate that's opened behind this panel.
What's in the crate?
It's empty because the top is off.
What's in the box?
So the top's off and there's nothing in it?
That's correct.
Is there any evidence that something was in it?
Give me a perception check.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
All right, you ready?
No, I'm gonna say you're gonna get. I'm ready now.
Hey.
You're looking down. You see a bolt, a piece of scrap metal, maybe a joint, like a metal piston joint.
That was
You're not
disappointing.
You heard the rest of you guys. You heard him over that may have a problem. What are the rest of you guys doing as he's looking in?
I'm gonna. Chip's not that big. I'm gonna hurry my little butt over there and be like, "Hey, what do you got?" I'm nosy, and I perform no function on this ship at all, other than to be here.
What are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm gonna sigh in between bites of whiskey-O's,
Okay.
which are now a thing.
Are they in a jar?
They're not. But I kind of walk over, pour the rest of the milk out into the sink, and I'll also walk over and kind of have a gander at what in God's name they did now.
So as you're kind of looking at there, and you're looking at this box, you guys are kind of like something strange. Oops, 1 second here.
That didn't come out of the box.
Nope, it came out of this engineering room. Suddenly this IG droid, just as you're kind of looking in, you kind of look over, and this IG unit just walked out of the engineering room. Everyone, please roll vigilance.
Just roll it, or we gotta wait.
Nope, just roll it. So when you're rolling vigilance, it is no modifiers on my end. It's just a happening. All right, let's get this, because we're about to get into what's called combat.
Uh-oh.
All right, so Maze. Uh-oh. All right. Ooh, there's a 1.3 there. So one of the things about how initiative works in Edge of the Empire, for those that don't know, there's a system of vigilance or cool. Vigilance is when something suddenly happens. Cool is when something's being planned. And then when you are, and how initiative work in there is a little bit different. And we're going to kind of walk through this. So in each round, normally like Dungeons and Dragons or other RPGs, whoever gets the higher number goes, and they go down, and then it repeats. That first person continues to go down. Not in Star Wars Edge of the Empire. In this particular system, everyone has a slot. So you have player slots and you have NPC slots. And what that means is each player totals up. So for example, we have a 1.3, a 0.2, a 0.1, and a 2.1. So that means successes and advantages. So they're all put into an order to find out who puts up. Now, even though I've named them, they're all players. So at any round, you as a group decides who goes first and uses that player slot. And then the next round, if you want someone to, you can switch the order up as much as you want. So for example, if in the process, the last person in one round goes, can be the first person to go in the second round or the next round after that. And that's one of the things that's very unique about the system. Now I need to roll my guy's initiative or vigilance. Actually, he's a little cool, I think, because he's, we'll vigilant this thing. All right, so that didn't work as well as I thought it would. So let me get this tracker up. So suddenly around the corner, you see this IG unit pop up. So the turn order is going to be player, player, NPC, player, player. Everyone cool? Any questions on the initiative and how it works or anything else like that? We're good? Okay. So who would like to use the first player slot? Since you have a player, player, then it's an NPC, player, player. So you guys are all looking at this box, looking at, and you all turn over and you see this IG unit suddenly walk out of the engineering room.
And does it look like it's angry or aggressive?
Possibly. It looks a little damaged, and it could be that some of the parts in there match some of his parts, and you're pretty sure that he just came out of that box.
Okay. Duncan is just standing here with a bottle of whiskey in his boxer shorts, so he's just kind of sit here for a minute and figure out what's going on with everybody else. His weapons are a few feet away in the engineering pit to our side here.
So who would like to take the first player slot?
I mean, I would have my blaster at my side regardless.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just as because I'm not quite paranoid, but paranoid enough. So seeing the IG-88, I would probably run back to this doorway, and I would use the action of taking cover, and I'd draw my pistol. Wouldn't necessarily fire, but I would draw it, and I'd probably shout, "Who are you?"
Okay. So as to move back, there would be a movement action. To pull out your weapon is also a movement action. So you can either do the two movement actions and complete your turn. If you wanted to do movement action, and an action like taking cover, you can do that, but you take strain because you're doing two maneuvers. And you can do no more than two maneuvers as part of the system. So you can take two strain and be able to do that, or you just basically pull your blaster out, you get there, and you could shout without taking cover as an action.
Okay, then yeah, I'd probably do that then.
Okay, and then what do so you call out to it and say, "What are you?"
Who are you?
Okay. Maze, or Sumi. Next player slot. So that was Maze. So next player slot. Who would like to do?
I will pull my blaster from its holster and then tuck right up here against that little nook there for the console.
Mm-hmm.
And just like that, like not shooting yet because it hasn't declared hostile intent.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? But it's just like pointing at it, like, what is this?
Okay. All right. So the IG has nothing in his hands at this time, no weapons or anything else. But it comes up and approaches you, and it looks over at Maze. Is like designations unknown, state business on ship, repelling borders, ship under attack, destroy.
No.
So at that point, the next player slot. Who would like?
So if this thing has moved up towards me, let's,
Yes, he's towering over
yep.
you.
Is that a wall between me and engineering there, or is there a?
This is a
Okay.
wall. To access engineering is you'd have to go move past him and get past there, which you could do. You could use 2 movements to be able to get in back.
Yeah,
into the
I
room,
mean,
get straight
because I
past
think,
him
I
and go.
mean, playing this out, I rolled out of my bunk and have been working on stuff ever since. So, he had, I have nothing other than a bottle of whiskey. So, I'm just gonna,
You got a
wait.
bottle of whiskey.
I'm not wasting my whiskey. So yeah, I'm just gonna move. You know, I've got to move into the engineering bay there and try and get at my
Okay.
get my stuff. So
All right, you get in there. So the last player slot. Who want?
Word, seeing Duncan shoot past this IG unit and kind of leaving nothing now between the IG unit and Word. Word kind of almost looks like he's caught red-handed and kind of like looks from side to side. Excuse me, like that. And he's going to turn and he's going to head around to the right here, kind of past 7, back towards room number 4 for the bunk that he's been sleeping in to grab his blaster.
All right. So everyone's kind of spreading out, and they're getting except for the 2. So now we're back at the top of the round. Who would like the first slot?
I mean, I'm kind of point blank range. What are you thinking, Maze?
Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of focused on this guy. I think there's a possibility we might be able to talk him down, but I don't know about that.
You're pretty intent that he's getting to that motion about he's on a killing spree in a second.
So maybe we could just kill him.
You could try. Yeah. You could try to talk to him. I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
So who wants the first slot, and what are you going to do?
You know what? Maze is already trained on him and probably a better shot than me. So I will attempt to talk to it.
Okay.
Right.
Are
If
you
it
going to
doesn't work
try
out,
to charm it or coerce it or negotiate with it?
I'm going to tell it the truth.
Okay.
The former owner of this ship was killed because it owed money to the Huts, and this is a legitimate salvage. We are a salvage crew. We were told that the entire ship was vacant and that there was no other entity on board. We are not boarders. This is a legitimate claim, and therefore you have no reason to repel boarders. We're not boarders. We're just working.
Okay. You know what? That sounds like a good negotiation.
I don't have that high negotiation skills.
What skill do you? Well, tell me what skill you would like to. What you think it is?
I know. I mean, like that's legit what it is, but I'm not. I'm not a talker. I'm not really a face. It just I don't want to use deception because I told the guy the truth.
No, that wouldn't be. So I'm going to say that it's a negotiation, but I'm going to give you a boost dice for telling the truth.
Okay.
Because you said it so elegantly, so it's very plausible. But because it's generally just going to be an average. It's going to be a hard check, but because of who he is, it's going to be upgraded to 1. So it's going to be a relative challenge, 1 challenge dice on this. But you get a boost.
You got this.
No, okay. There you go. I wanted to see if any of my talents might have been applicable.
Okay.
All right. Well, but none of them really are. All right. So here we go. Leadership. Let's go. Or not leadership, but negotiation. Here we go. Yeah. No. I thought I was supposed to get a boost.
Did you roll the boost?
Oh no, I didn't because I thought you gave it to me.
Ah,
Oh.
okay. So here, roll. I've got roll a 1 blue dice.
Oh, one blue dice. Okay. Well, it didn't matter.
The fates
Womp
did
womp.
not join you. So it's looking at you and it's kind of computing, and its designation plausible. Mission does not matter. You are on board. All personnel on board. Elimination process commencing.
That didn't work so well. Do I still have a movement left?
Yes, you do. If
Okay,
you'd like
so
to move out of the out, you more than welcome to.
I'm most certainly go fuck this shit and run away.
Okay. So you get about right there and on the corridor as you kind of getting around. So
Yeah, like I get to like right there, so that way I don't lose sight of Maze,
Mhm.
but I ready my blaster just in case. Like, okay, well we both gotta.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So next player slot, Maze.
Yeah, I'll take that. So I will. So I already have my blaster out.
Yep.
I'm actually going to. I'm not going to take cover. I'm actually going to aim.
Okay.
Take the aim maneuver, and then I'm going to fire.
So the aim maneuver adds a boost dice to your roll. So please
Yep.
do that on yours.
Got that?
It is short range, so it's generally going to be 1 purple. But because of this adversary 1, it upgrades to 1. So it's going to just be 1 challenge dice.
Okay.
So the nervousness of this droid coming towards you, shoot and just miss. But you have 2 advantage. So what would you like to use with the advantage? You could reduce strain if you had it. You can impose a setback on the droid for something that you want to do, or you could pass a boost onto one of your next party members in the next round if they're going to do an action or something like that.
Okay, I have an idea. So I'm super nervous, and I mean, I don't shoot blasters all the time. I'm elegant. I sneak in and stuff. So firing, I didn't really pay attention, and that whiskey cereal has hit me pretty good. So I shoot. I miss, but I hit a coolant vent or a coolant like runoff, and it blasts coolant on the IG-88. It disrupts their system, so that his next attack will get 1 setback die.
So here's the other thing. You aimed, but your blue dice did not show up. So I need you to make sure and you roll that blue dice. So give me a straight blue boat
See,
dice.
that's really weird because I selected it.
But you have to select, once you select it, you have to select something else out of it to actually make it register. So you can't let it.
Oh,
So you have, once you select it, hit something else somewhere on your character sheet.
oh, I understand now. Okay, that was okay. I was foolish on my part.
No problem.
Right.
So go ahead and roll that. Oh, fate's still.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the coolant, it blasts the coolant, and it's basically, it's got a setback on something, whatever it's going to do next.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why these are one shots. No one is designed to survive.
Accurate.
All right, it is the IG-23G's turn. All right, let's see. Here we go. So IG-23 is going to move up, and it's going to impose upon Maze, since Maze is just standing right there, try to shoot him. Aggressive behavior will not be tolerated. Termination sequence initiated, and it raises one of its arms and just basically tries to swat down on you with a brawl, which it needs. Since it is melee, do you have any defense, armor defense, melee defense on your sheet? Maze.
I'm just having a quick look. I don't believe I do.
So it would have been a defense in your armor soak defense, if there's anything in your defense.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No, there. Oh, wait. Well, I mean, other than. No, just soak. Yeah,
Just
no
soak?
defense. Yeah.
Okay. So
It's going to hurt.
this might hurt a little bit. So he is going to try to smash you with a little brawl attack.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, he just comes down right on top of you. And you take 7 points of wounds, but what is your soak?
My soak is 3, so I'm only taking 4. But
You're taking 4 as he comes down and smacks you on the shoulder, and then comes and sweeps your leg, and you fall prone. Now, one of the things is because I got 3 advantage, I can do numerous things. I can, potentially add a crit. I can do something. But one of the things I've learned over the years and from other games, 3 advantage is you fall prone. I love that. Or your gun you drop your gun. But in this particular situation, it's a series of boom, boom, and just leg sweeps you, and you fall prone right in front of this creature, this droid. So that's where we're at. So next, we are now with who's got the next player slot? We've got Duncan in the engineering room grabbing something, and we got we're grabbing something.
So I think I would need an action to grab my gear, correct? Or
we're gonna say it's a movement.
Okay. So what I want to do is I want to grab my gear and step back into the hallway and start shooting at this thing. So I don't know how much that's going to take.
So one of the things you can do is you generally have an action and a maneuver. If you want to take a second maneuver, you can take 2 strain and be able to do that. So grabbing your gear is going to be a maneuver. Moving that short distance in the hallway is going to be a maneuver, and you can take an action and shoot. And then that you're going to take 2 strain to add your strain threshold, and you're going to be able to get a good shot. It's going to be, we're going to say, based off of this, it's going to be medium range because you're kind of right at the doorway. So it's going to, for your medium range shots, are going to be 2 purple dice, 2 difficulty dice. So I'm ready with your shot. So go ahead and try to blast this thing.
Oh, it would help if I did the right one there.
You hit it.
So you see this sweaty, haggard, half-drunk old man step out in boxers with a gun belt around his waist and like a bandolier of stun grenades across his chest, and he just pulls his blaster out and just starts firing at this thing.
Okay. And you did 6 points of damage, and you have an advantage. What would you like to do with that advantage?
And you said that I can pass that on to somebody else then?
Yeah, if you like, yeah.
I'm gonna just yell at Maze. If you believe in the whiskey, it'll do right by you. And pass that on to Maze for next round. Okay. Help her get up from laying on the floor.
That's fine. Maze, I want to change something. I actually, for some reason, rolled too many dice, so you only took 2 points of damage, not 4.
Oh, okay.
I would like to point out that the visual that I have of Duncan's character right now, I know he said blaster, but we were all thinking shotgun. We were all thinking, we were all like shotgun. It was like, get off my ship.
Yes. So we are now up to Word. You grab your blaster from there.
Absolutely. So, being a basilisk, I'm allowed 1 extra maneuver every round because I have multiple limbs. So he barely has to step into the room before, like the 2 left-hand side arms reach out and grab this kind of long, very bulky gun, this blaster that he kind of picks up from beside the door frame, and kind of brings it up to bear, one hand pressing down on the top of it and the other kind of supporting the bottom of the barrel. He's going to use his 4th hand to cycle and load a charge in from the battery pack, the power cell. And as he comes around the curve back behind where Gerald was.
Yep. So you're about right there as you come in as your second maneuver. You've got a clean shot at I'd say short range. You just made it into short range with them.
Excellent. Then there's this kind of like noise of this this rather large blaster rifle, this Corindex VAS 700 pulse rifle, kind of, and all of you can kind of feel like the static in the air, kind of in this part of the ship, kind of starting to build, and then this big, massive energy charge like shoots out of the end of his gun.
Okay, let's give it. Let's see what happens.
Ooh, that's interesting. I'm sure nothing bad will come from
So
that.
what that
roll.
is a failure with 3 advantage and a despair.
This is fine. I'm sure everything's fine.
So you miss him. Because of that, you're charging up, you missed him. But those 3 advantage, what do you want those advantages to look like?
To not have the ship blow apart, I guess.
Good start.
Yeah, I guess whatever happens, that maybe the gun or I don't have to blow up.
Okay, so you don't want to blow up. I'm thinking something happened to the ship. Something blew up the ship, or you did some major damage. So you were aiming and you
Something.
shot.
Allegedly.
And I'm going to say that because of the angle of the shot, the landing gear is right here.
Oh, Duncan is pissed.
And suddenly that shot blew a hole into the hull of the landing gear. And guess what happens? The air starts to get sucked out of the ship as everyone starts floating towards this gaping hole in the landing gear as space is opened up, and the ship took a major critical damage at this. This door happened to be open, but if you shut this door, you might be able to stop falling in and falling into space. So next round, top of the round, player, who would like to?
So what do we have to do to not go flying into space?
Well, there is probably an access point right here that you need to be able to shut the door and depressurize this area. But the droid is standing right at the door. Mm-hmm. So you could, if you shut the door, the droid's going to be right at the door, right in the other. You could try to do something to get the droid on the other side of the door.
So, yeah. I head for the panel, and I just, somebody get him through that door. And I'm gonna get to the panel and try and get the door closing.
So,
I was gonna say I full on, because I have a straight path to him and I am standing. Run and body check this shit out of the IG unit. Like, ah!
Okay, so working together in tangent as this process, you get to the thing and you're ready as he's gonna hit this large mechanical metal body and try to push it out as it's getting sucked. Now, after this end, I'm gonna both have you make some athletic strength checks so that you don't get sucked out as well. But first of all, you're going to be running towards this guy, and you're just going to do. You're looking at coordination, like some parkour. Are you going to do a brawl, like you're just going to bump into him? How do you want it? What are you looking at? How this looks?
You ever seen hockey?
Oh God, yes. Are you using athletics, or are you going to use brawl or athletics? What do you want?
I would probably be using. My whole thing is I'm just throwing my whole weight into it to try and knock him back. He's got spindly legs. It should work, right? So I guess that would be brawl, maybe.
All right.
Uh,
I'm gonna say that it is.
me. I mean,
Yeah, go for it. So here's the thing: it's going to be upgraded. I'm giving you a boost. So
mhm.
for this, and because of the other 3, you're going to get a second boost as well. So you're going to have 2 boosts.
Do I need to put the boost in?
I'm going to put the boosts in.
Okay.
So I've got the 2 boosts. It's going to be an easy, but it's going to be difficult because it's going to be upgraded. So if you roll a despair, you might fly out as well because he might latch onto you. But you know
Yeah.
what?
They can't all be good life decisions.
Right.
Here we go.
Exactly.
Oh no! Oh no! Reroll.
You have a reroll. Galaxy dice.
Galaxy dice reroll.
Do it.
Do it.
You wanna? Yeah, Galaxy dice reroll.
Well, wait a minute. Do I just have the 1 advantage, or do I have 2 advantage?
You're supposed to have 2 advantage.
That
but-
only gave me 1 advantage.
well because something got downgraded somewhere. So do you have anything on your hit a boost on yours?
Boom. There we go.
All right, now try it. Get that reroll going.
Let's see what happens with the reroll. If not, I mean, it's been real. It's been swell. All right, here we go. Boom.
Yes. So as you bump into this guy, the droid, you run into it and you just kind of like bounce off of it, or you bounce against the door, and you're just about to fall into the door, and you grab onto him as you're going into this pit, but then you feel an arm come out and grab you as Duncan grabs you and yanks you back in and hits the door as the door goes, and the IG goes out into hyperspace.
I got you, kid.
Thanks. Where are your pants?
I don't need pants. I hand him the whiskey that I still haven't let go of.
Oh my god.
So after a few minutes, things calm down a little bit. You hit the systems. It shuts off the area. There is significant damage to the ship, the gaping hole. It will not get repaired by the time you end. As the courses you're going, you hit your next stop. You get refueled. As you're floating down, you hit another stop. You get refueled. The rest of the trip is uneventful. You kind of get you clean up a little bit and get that smell out. Everything else is good. Word at one of the last trips, as you were getting back on the ship, you kind of look over and you see someone that you seem to recognize that from your Black Sundays, and he notices you as you're getting on the ship, and you're like, let's get out of here. And he might be running to a fighter. You're not sure, but you because he saw him and he saw you, you're able to just get out of the atmosphere and kick into that hyperdrive before he was able to get to his ship. The rest of the journey, smooth, no issues. I do need everyone to roll one last discipline roll. And this is to see how well you stand each other by the end of the month that you're in there.
I broke even?
You broke even. Duncan? Yeah, they wore on you hard.
Duncan, by the last week and a half, Duncan is just sitting in the back, double fisting bottles of, going through every last drop he has and not talking to anybody.
And it's kind of the same thing for Maze. Oh no,
Maze likes everything. Maze is like, you people are great. I forgive you. I forgive you.
This was fun. So as time, like, you finally get back, you get your everything else. The rest of the trip completely uneventful, and you guys get bored. You guys it gets wears on you. You finally get to Portmore, and you get into the hangar bay that you're supposed to be at. You land. Protocol droid comes and greets you at the location and looks at you and is like, welcome. Thank you for completing. My owner appreciates your delivery. There seems to be some damage on the hull. And in the course of this process, pays you guys the 1,000 credits. And you have completed the inaugural interview job with only a slight amount of damage, only annoying each other to the point that you don't want to kill each other, but just enough that you may want to work with each other again.
I like to think that every time Duncan passed word for the last 2 weeks, he just under his breath just mutters something about the hole in the landing gear. Can't believe he shot my ship.
I was supposed to know it was an exploding IG unit.
So thank you very much for this. Time constraints there's a few more things, but because of time, we kind of shortened it down a little bit more. Thank you very much to the players on this wonderful inaugural one-shot. I hope you guys had fun. I hope, audience, you enjoyed this one-shot as well. We're hopefully going to be doing, like I said, a series of these and different players and more players returning and things of that nature. But why don't we go around again? Tell us who you are, where we can find you, and is there anything that you want to promote or upcoming that you're working on that you'd like to share for all of us? So again, starting off with Jeremy and going around, go for it.
Hey everybody, once again, I am Jeremy. I have a YouTube channel called the Erasmus Expeditions. I do a lot of live plays, videos where I talk about RPGs, things where I do world building, crafting, terrain, and things like that. So if you like that kind of stuff, stop over and subscribe, hit the like button, watch some stuff, drop some comments, all that kind of good stuff. Wrapping up this month will be the last and final episode of the Sunderhearth project we've been working on over there, where we world build live and improved once a month with a different guest each time. It's been a lot of fun. I'm very excited to finish that setting up so that I can start running games in it. Also on the 21st of December, I will be running my December one-shot, which will be a game of 10 Candles. It is a horror game. I'm going to be using it to run a Dickens Christmas ghost story type game. I'm looking very much forward to that. Thank you so much for having me. I love Star Wars. I knew this was going to be a really fun group of people to play with and a really fun, exciting character for me to play. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity. So thank you, Jay, for running this for us. And thank you, Dwight, for hosting.
Absolutely.
Cool. Mike, share with us, please.
Oh boy. So hi, I'm Mike. You may have seen me on a game, a campaign called The Provokers on a Fistful of Dice's channel, where I play Edric Meadows, the nicest, biggest kid in all of Dund. I have a YouTube channel as well. YouTube, Mike the Piper, and yada yada. I am currently at a bit of an impasse creative wise, so I'm taking a break until I can pull something out. But when I do, I'm probably going to run another sandbox campaign, which I absolutely love. It's just going to take me a very long time to prep because I'm an extremely heavy prepper. I'm probably the heaviest prepper who has ever prepped a prep and a prepped prep. Thank you so much for running this game, Jay. This was a wonderful experience. It really kind of helped things because it's been a little while, and yeah, it's wonderful. It kind of really gets the want to run a game again. So thank you very much for that. It helped a lot.
Thank you very much. Kurt, share with us.
Hi. I don't have a YouTube. I don't have a Twitch. I got a Twitter though. But there you can find me at at Kurt Vanetis, or just look for Covenant the Horrible Alchemist. That would be me. Jay, thank you for running this game. It was a lot of fun. I always love playing in your games, and I'm so thankful that you always throw me an invite from time to time. And Dwight, great. This was awesome. Thanks for having me on, and I hope to do it again soon.
Very cool. Thank you. Dwight,
Yeah,
take us
I
home.
will take it home. Thank you so much, everybody. Kurt, you're welcome here anytime. You fit right in with this group. I've played with everybody else here, and as far as I'm concerned, one, you got a great beard, so you're always welcome here. Thank you, Jay. This was a great game. It's always exciting to play Star Wars. I love it. Jake and I talked about Star Wars a good bit on our podcast this morning. And what I love about this type of game is we talked about Mandalorian a whole bunch this morning, and what I love about it is you get to play around in the world that's in my head, not necessarily the world that's in the movies, but the world that's in my head. And we didn't, we were just some schmucks running around in a spaceship tonight and having fun telling a cool story in an awesome setting. So great job, Jay. Thank you so much. I dropped the links to Mike and Jeremy in chat for those of you. If you're watching on YouTube, when I get this uploaded, I'll have those in there as well. Check these guys out. I've played with both of them. I ran I've played in both of their games. They run fantastic games. It's a joy to actually play with them. I think this might be the first time I've actually gotten to play with you guys. I know it's the first time I've played with Mike. I've played in Jeremy's games, but I don't think we've played together. We either DM each other, so it's kind of cool to be on the player side with everybody. But thank you so much. We'll be back in a month. I hope to have these guys back. We'll be doing this anthology style, so we'll have some of the same characters, some new characters every month. If you like Star Wars, first Sunday of the month, check us out here. Tuesday night this week, Beards and Brushes giving away Owlbear. So if you like minis like this, come check that out. I'm giving this guy away this week. Or not Beards and Brushes. Let's Paint Tiny Things. Sorry, I have too many painting shows that I deal with. And then this coming Saturday, Ricky was in the chat a little bit earlier. He'll be running the Obsidian Path Call of Cthulhu anthology series, again, monthly anthology. And then a week from Saturday, Mexpendables Christmas episode. You're not going to want to miss this one because Christmas and Mex and Santa Claus. So check it out. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Thank you to these gentlemen. You got one more thing, Jay?
One more thing. I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for playing. Thank you for letting me run this. I love Star Wars myself. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Thank you, Dwight, for being able to produce this. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you, everyone. And one last thing. Wednesday nights, I'm on the Scryer Vision Twitch channel for Scryer Vision Game. Please check us out. We're trying to get affiliate for that. So my friend Ryan is trying to there. So any love and following to help him get to that status will be greatly appreciated. And then I will be back in a month with another one shot. And who knows, that IG unit isn't dead. He might come back.
Oh, great. So thank you all so much. Have a great week, and may the force be with you.